Hi everyone. I had a lovely time at Speaker's Corner today listening to some awesome speeches. It was probably the best event we've had so far. So thank you to Kelly J. Keane and Venice for getting it done, for empowering women to take back the public square. No wonder the trans activists are so desperate to get Kelly J removed from every corner of the internet. In your dreams. There were so many gathered around our spot at Speaker's Corner today that the police had to interrupt us and tell us to spread out more. The event was live streamed and I know some of you watched it live, but I'll post the link below for those who want to watch the whole video and don't know where to find it. I've nicked the bit featuring me speaking about female genital mutilation, and I'll play that in a moment, but I wanted to take this opportunity to say a bit more about the topic and about Hibo Wader. I noted that there were a few comments in the live stream chat about male circumcision, and I've seen similar comments directed at Hibo on social media. Now, as I understand it, circumcision on little boys in this country is either done for medical reasons or for religious reasons, which I don't understand and have nothing to say about. It's not carried out in the name of this thing called honour, which I also don't understand. It's not carried out to control a man's sexuality or to ensure that he goes to his bride a virgin. And unless it goes badly wrong, which I know it does sometimes, it doesn't usually have a life-shattering effect on the child it's carried out on, so far as I know. The other more important comment I want to address was from a feminist suggesting that calling clitoridectomy, which I can hardly say, FGM, is a way to forget what it is, in fact. And I actually don't agree with that, because FGM refers to a number of practices and only what is called type 1 FGM is clitoridectomy, meaning obviously removing part or all of the clitoris and nothing else. Type 2 FGM means removing part or all of the clitoris and the inner labia. Type 3, which is what was done to Hibo, involves, and I'm quoting from the NHS website here, narrowing the vaginal opening by creating a seal formed by cutting and repositioning the labia. FGM also covers various other harmful procedures to the female genitals, including pricking, piercing, cutting, scraping, or burning the area. I have read Hibo Wader's book, and I urge you to buy it and to read it, because I do know of people who have bought it and who are too afraid to read it, and I understand that. You're afraid of how it will make you feel, and goodness knows there is enough pain and misery around just now without wanting to take on any more. But I assure you, it isn't all painful. It is a truly inspiring account from someone who is on the front line, and it's such an important part of women's history. Having said that, I'm just going to read the first paragraph of chapter 4, which is the chapter in which Hibo describes the experience of undergoing FGM. The chapter is called Butchery. Terror ripped through my body in a shattering wave as my lungs struggled under the weight of the arms that crushed them, as my legs were forced into excruciating angles, as the cutter gripped her dirty razor and flicked the skin between my legs as she muttered, "In the name of God Almighty," through her tight, thin lips, as my mother turned her face away from me. And that was more frightening than anything else. The fact that this person who had bathed me so gently just moments ago was abandoning me now when I needed her the most. Okay, here's my speech.
Maria McLaughlin, you might have heard of her. fixing it on you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it here. Okay, thank you.
Hi everyone. I'm very sorry, but I'm going to say a few words about the horrible subject of female genital mutilation. The greatest atrocity being inflicted on girls and young women, and indeed older women, because even though it's usually carried out on children, those who are lucky enough to physically survive it, the pain and the trauma can never go away. It lasts a lifetime. FGM is usually or very often performed by somebody with no medical training, using unsterilised equipment and without anaesthetic on little girls being held down by members of their own family. 2 decades into the 21st century, it's still happening in many countries around the world, including the UK. It's been illegal here for some 25 years, but it's still happening. Sometimes right here on British soil, sometimes on girls who are British citizens being taken abroad for a holiday. Please take time to familiarise yourself with what FGM means in reality, because if you've only got a vague idea, if you'd rather not think about it, you will be very shocked. Learn what the law says and what steps you can take if you know of a girl who you suspect might become a victim of this horrendous practice. There's loads and loads of information online. Check out the fgmcentre.org.uk. The NSPCC has good information, so does the NHS and gov.uk. And if you're on Facebook or Twitter, please follow the woman whose t-shirt I'm wearing today. A woman who has devoted her life to campaigning against FGM. Her name is Hibo Wader. She was 6 years old when she was forcibly restrained and her genitals were hacked to pieces and she was stitched up without anaesthetic. If you don't know what the result of type 3 FGM looks like, there are images on the internet which once you've seen them, you can never unsee. We've got to stop this brutality that is happening to girls, to female children who can't identify out of it. Now finally, I wouldn't want to disappoint my many transactivist fans who totally get off on watching me expose their appalling behaviour they seem to be proud of for some reason. Last year, Hibo Adair tweeted a comment saying, "I'm so sick of these people constantly trying to hijack my campaign. Bugger off, please." She's so polite. No prizes for guessing who she was talking to. In fact, over the past few months, Hibo has repeatedly asked trans activists to just stop hassling her. She's been accused of erasing men who have breasts and ovaries and wombs and clitorises. She's been accused... Yes. She's been accused of turning her anguish and pain against other women, meaning the ones who were born with penises and are more accurately known as men. She's been accused of being irresponsible and hurting young trans women, and of course of being a TERF and retweeting gender critical accounts, which is such a heinous crime. Dear trans activists, to criticise and harangue a woman campaigning to end the most barbaric form of child abuse because she's not interested in your fantasy is one of the most despicable things I've seen you do. You can go no lower. And to those of you doing it, I'd just like to say leave her alone and just fuck off. Yeah! Please.